let's get started. I'm assuming we're on air. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Unicorn Pitches Online. We are hosting GSD Demo Day today. So this event is hosted by Unicorn.Events. We have multiple sponsors here, Network VC, who's our platinum partner, Startup Inc., who's our golden partner, and VC House, who's our silver partner. I'm going to present them today in a second. My name is Victoria. I'm going to be your host for today. So I'm the manager of Unicorn.Events, and we're doing global events for different sponsors, organizers, partners. One of them is GSD. We will have our next event on our website. It's going to be in person in Silicon Valley. We're going to introduce our ecosystem in a second. And between that, let me actually pass the mic to Gary Fowler, co-founder of GSD. So Gary, can I ask you to say a few words?
Yeah, it's great to be here. This is our 17th cohort, and I'm really proud of the companies that have come through GSD. Some of the companies from as far away as Norway, South Korea, San Francisco, and Silicon Valley. GSD is a AI and quantum venture studio located in Silicon Valley. I've been involved in startups for 38 years. 17 startups and several unicorns. I was on the original management team at Click Software, which was sold to Salesforce for $1.35 billion, also Eva.ai. We believe that artificial intelligence is going to change our world. And we believe in GSD now with 161 companies inside of our portfolio, that we've got the right stuff with the most incredible companies in the world to do that. And so I'm very proud. GSD stands for Get Shit Done. And these companies are just doing that. So thanks very much, Victoria. Let's go get shit done.
Okay. Awesome, awesome. So apologies, I know my connection is bugging a bit. I'm in San Francisco, so we're having a little end. With that, Unicorn.Events, we've been hosting events for 14 years. Our winners raised more than $1 billion. We're always happy to have GSD companies present at our events. And one of them is going to present at our net in person. So we also represent Network VC. I do partner relations there. And we've had a few serious 3 exits. You can check out our website, Startup Inc. If people want to co-invest, invest with us. This is for angel investors, so you can follow the QR code on the screen. And we have VC-only community, VC House. So any of the judges, any of the listeners from our other platforms, if you'd like to join, this is a platform for VCs only to exchange their deals. All right, and all of this started with Startup Network. It hosts more than 50,000 startups now. And all of the startups presented today, if you follow our event page, and if you click on the startup, you will see a bit of their information, and you will be able to find their website and, for example, some of the descriptions of their product and their main business. So our organizer is Startup Network and GSD. We have our wonderful judges. There are 3 different pages, so we're going to be clicking quite a bit to present everyone appropriately. So Gary, can I ask you to introduce our wonderful judges so they can say a few words?
Yeah, thanks, Victoria. Appreciate it. So yeah, we've got some of the most incredible judges from all over the world here today, and all the way from early stage startup investors to investors that have done $15 billion per year. So it's pretty incredible group. But I'd like to start off, Maria, are you here?
I am.
Yeah, I'd love to, if you could say a few words about yourself, that would be great.
Yeah, wonderful. Hi, I'm Maria Pinar, based in San Francisco. I'm a operating partner with Unicorn Growth Capital. We focus on embedded finance, fintech companies in developing market with very much a focus on Africa at the moment. But yeah, we do have some US portfolio companies. That's just from our fund side, but in the others, it's part of the spectrum. I am here to also help companies be more clear about their value propositions and how they tell their stories to investors. So always happy to help.
Thanks, I appreciate that. Igor Rabinky.
Hi, I'm Igor, doing startups since many years, running Altair Capital, now fund number 5, investing in early stage pre-seed and seed, and then harvest unicorns. So okay, and present here already since many sessions in GSD. Hope
Yeah, Igor, how many unicorns do you have in your portfolio? Because you're very modest.
From early stage already 10.
Okay.
Because we have a count all the time. So
yeah, we appreciate you coming today. That's great. Michael Drebin, how are you doing today?
Hi, Gary. Fine, thank you. Michael Drebin. I've been involved with startups for many years. I'm a 2-time founder myself, but have all worked as a VC as well as an angel investor, and kind of wore all the hats you can in the startup ecosystem. And now I help to create growth for the next generation of founders, and try to create as much value out as I can.
Thanks. Appreciate that, Michael. Mark Mueller, Eberstein.
Always a pleasure to be here. Thank you, Gary, for having me. Always interested to see what's happening in your world here and learning about the new companies here. Ex-Microsoft, ex-Hewlett Packard, early stage investor for about 15 years now. Really interesting portfolio, I think, we've created over time across industries, not only in the software space, including medical. Strong background in the blockchain space. I'm an LP in a bunch of different funds. I'm an advisor to funds, investment gremiums, as well as a member of the Swan Fund. The Swan Fund, Alliance of Angels, ACA in the US. We're doing mostly North American investments, but I do have significant exposure in Asia as well, mostly through Singapore.
Thanks, Mark. I really appreciate it. It's good to see you today. Kumar, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you.
Hey, Gary. Great to see you. Thank you for having me. I'm Kumar, guys. I'm an serial entrepreneur. I have done 2 startup and then moved into VC. Have been doing investment from last 4 years. I have 2 funds, one in early stage focused on early stage startup in blockchain, AI, and quantum computing, and then late stage fund where we invest growth stage companies, mostly like a PE style. That's what we've been doing so far.
That's great. Thanks, Kumar. Appreciate it. Gary with 2 R's. Gary? Where is he? Okay. He was here. Okay, Leon?
Hey, thank you for inviting me as a judge today. I'm really happy to be here. My name is Leon Eisen. I'm PhD in quantum physics, and for the last 20 years, I dedicated to startup business. So far, I'm founder and co-founder of 4 companies. Also, I'm a venture partner at Network VC, and I have my own podcast, and I'm a senator at World Business Angel Investment Forum, and doing a lot of things.
That sounds great. Thanks, Leon. It's great to have you here. Gary with 2 R's. I think you're unmuted now.
Gary, thanks for having me. As I was saying, this is quite an honor to be in the presence of all these wonderful people. This is our first sort of venture into the AI world. Most of our investments have not been in this, but none of our investments have been really in this space. But we're excited to be part of this now. And, Gary and I are looking at doing a couple things post, in the next few months here, which will be very exciting for everybody. So looking forward to hearing, these stories. We've got quite a bit of capital to deploy. We're based in London and Bahamas. We operate globally. I guess consider us like a global investor syndicate. So we have a lot more than just capital to offer. There's a lot of assets that we can bring to the table, opening markets, et cetera. So we're just trying to figure out a way to enter into this space and work with everybody here to create value and change the world. So let's get shit done.
Gary, can you talk a little bit about the fund that we're putting together so they have a scope of it? Because there could be some interesting partners here.
Yeah, it is. It's we've decided that we're probably going to create this $400 million fund with a first close of about 100 million, which we think would be a sort of a good first tier. You know, my role really is on the capital raising side and just bringing in the right kind of investors that can bring the value that I think this fund can offer. So Gary and our other partner Ron, you know, who are right now spearheading this and the putting the documents together. So we'll be available for deployment, capital deployment in the next, you know, I get probably the next month or call 45 days, hopefully. So that's pretty exciting as well. That's our first venture together, and specifically in AI. So looking forward to that.
Thanks, Gary. Kevin, how you doing, buddy?
Good. Sorry, I was on mute. Thank you for introducing me here, Gary. It's always a pleasure to be in the presence of such a great company, great founders, and great people that you assemble together. My name is Kevin Gale. I'm the principal partner of ARC Advisory. ARC is a value acceleration company. We help company increase their value over 400% within a year. We have a methodology that we work with and look at the intangible capital that's in the businesses that are causing them not to be as valuable as they can be. And then we pull the levers that needs to be pulled so that the company can be as valuable as possible. And I've been working with Gary for the last little while. So it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you to be amongst such esteemed judges.
Thanks, appreciate it, Kevin. Mark Lockerup, how you doing, my friend?
Hey, good, Gary. I'm grateful to be here. Thanks for having me. So my name is Mark Lockerup. I've been a Silicon Valley guy for the last 30 plus years. Been involved in starting, running, building dozens of startup companies, 5-time CEO, been part of 7 funds with a little over $2.5 billion under management. Currently raising a new fund with Portal Venture Partners, where we're focused on what we call a DIP strategy. So data analytics, you know, heavy data analytics is what we do. We're looking at the inflection point stage of companies as they're about to break out. And then everything has to have a positive technology element to them. So we really scrub them hard for a positive impact on society. So great to be here. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks for taking your time. Appreciate it, Mark. Michael Flight.
Hey, Gary, thanks for inviting me. It's always an honor to be around you. A little bit of my background, I came for real estate and stayed for venture capital. We do institutional real estate investment. We also, through some of the tokenization efforts that we have, we do blockchain investing, and we're doing a lot more prop tech and, you know, picking up some AI stuff too. So thank you again, Gary.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Philippe.
Hi, my name is Philippe Stefan. I'm a technologist. As a matter of fact, I'm still coding. I've been the CTO of a number of startups, including a bank in London. Currently, I'm an advisor to a few AI companies. One of them is called Valid Mind, if you're curious.
Excellent, thank you. Peter, Aaron.
Hi, Gary. Hey, thanks for having me. Peter Aaron here with Innovation Works and Riverfront Ventures. We're Pittsburgh's leading early stage investor. We have 80 million under management, and we invest across sectors, so software, hardware, robotics, and healthcare. Great to be here.
Excellent. Jose, good to see you, my friend.
Hi, Gary. How are you doing? Thank you for inviting me here today with this marvelous panel. So I've been a serial entrepreneur now for 4 decades, besides being an angel investor for about 3 and 5 or 6 years as a VC. So my life has been about innovation and entrepreneurship. Today I'm leading BizMoney, which enables people to basically move up the ladder constantly. And we have our own fund, and we only invest in people that essentially go through the programs. Thank you, Gary.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Alexis?
Yeah, good evening, Gary. Good evening, everybody. Alexis, Robert, based in London, serial entrepreneur, ex-Airbus, 10 years in Toulouse. I'm involved now in venture capital in London, mainly with the French tech, with C4 Ventures, raising their third fund, mainly in deep tech, with 9 unicorns in their portfolio, and with Antler UK and Antler France. So I'm an investor, board member, and serial entrepreneur.
Thanks, Alexis. Appreciate you having you here today. Ryan Clark.
Hey, great to meet everybody. Thanks for having me here. Exciting time. I'm also a get shit done kind of guy. So I'm in LA area. I'm actually the CTO and CPO operationally for a company called Vastly. I'm also interim CTO at a med tech company called Acilo Biosciences. That's actually, building wearable devices to treat Alzheimer's and other neurocognitive disorders. I also am a CXO advisor for multiple companies and a co-founder of an AI startup. So excited to be around a lot of talent and all y'all. So thanks for having me.
Thanks, appreciate it, Ryan. Kelly.
Hi, Gary. Thank you all for having me. Pleasure to meet you virtually. I'm Kelly Lo, founder and tech investor at Mans International from Toronto, Canada. Currently, I'm in Shanghai for business. Despite the late hour right now, it's 1 a.m. local time. I'm eager to connect. We focus on B2B deep tech companies in the health tech and digital economy sectors with initial investments up to $500,000. We specialize in accelerating tech companies' growth through our extensive networks in North America and Asia. I'm excited to hear your pitches and wish you all the best.
Thanks, Kelly. Appreciate it. It's good to see you. Ryan Whitmore.
Hey, Gary, thanks for having me. I'm Ryan Whittemore. I've been one of the partners and chief investment officer for Florida Funders. We've got about $250 million under management, investing throughout the U.S. In B2B, seed to Series A SaaS companies. And I've closed just over about 100 deals there, several that are not quite unicorns, but should be within their next round. So very exciting stuff, and appreciate the opportunity to be here today.
Thanks, Ryan. It's good to see you today. Joris.
Hi there. Hi, Gary. Hi, everybody. I guess I'm the odd one out here. My name is Joris, and I'm the only non-investor on the board today. I have a mentor for GSD. I've been for a couple of years now already. I am a serial founder. Currently, I'm CEO of one of my companies, and I'm founding a medtech company, actually, together with one of the founders that was in a previous cohort. I believe, I'm not sure. I tend to try to help founders with either go-to-market or other strategy stuff and fundraising. So that's why I'm here, and I'm wishing all the founders the best of luck for today's presentation.
Thanks, George. We really appreciate it. Peter, if I missed anybody, please let me know. Raise your hand. But Peter, I don't think I got you yet. You're on mute.
You already got me.
Oh, I did. Okay. Scott Duffy, are you here?
I'm here. Can you see me?
Yeah. How you doing, buddy?
All right. Hey, Gary, thank you so much for having me today. I'm Scott Duffy. I'm the founder of AI Mavericks, and we help founder CEOs and leadership teams build great companies and learn how to make AI a part of their business strategy. Prior to that, I started my career working for Tony Robbins. I was on the startup team for what's now CBSSports.com, NBC Internet, and I launched FoxSports.com with Ross Levinson, and then started a company that was like Expedia for private jets. We sold to Virgin, and I ran for those guys for a couple years. Totally passionate about what you're doing, Gary, and GSD, and just thanks so much for having me here today.
Thank you. We appreciate you coming. And he's got incredible events, by the way. We just went to AI Mavericks out in Salt Lake City, Utah, and had an incredible time. So appreciate you coming today. If I missed anybody, please let me know. I'm scrolling up and down, but I don't see anybody that I missed. I think we're okay. Speak now or forever hold your peace. All right, Victoria, it's over to you.
All right, amazing. So everyone, whoever just joined us, I seen you people for the broadcast. Welcome. So we're going to proceed to our pitch competition. So judges, each one of you have gotten voting links. It's on your email from me. So you're gonna click on the voting link, and this is the page you're going to see. So there will be logos of every single startup, and you're going to rate them from 1 to 10 on either investment potential or the potential to become a unicorn. That's why we have a diverse judging body. So there's no submit button. You're just going to rate startups, and you can do this during the competition, or I'm gonna give you 2, maybe 3 minutes to finish after the startups have finished presenting. And startups will have 3 minutes for pitching and 3 minutes for the Q&A. The Q&A is first come, first serve. So judges, whenever you have a question, you just raise your hand, and we're going to try to accommodate as many questions as possible. And if we don't exactly have time for every single question, there is a Q&A section. So if you click at the bottom of your screen on the Q&A, you can type the question, and startups, please answer at your earliest convenience. Or also you can type the questions in the chat, and obviously we suggest that everyone interested in working with each other connects after the event. Great, and with that, we're going 6 amazing companies today. Industry, Latvia, Arbor, Ecomedias. You can see on the event page of this event on our website, Unicorn.Events, and you can click on every company's profile, and you're going to have information about them. Also, this recording will be available on YouTube, LinkedIn, so you can check them out there. All right, and this is the event of the first stage unicorn pitches. So the winner will go to Unicorn Battle, and our latest unicorn battles be in person in Silicon Valley in Menlo Park. And so Gary, I assume, will be the judge for one of the next. As always, we're super happy to have him on our jury panel. And judges, whoever is flying in to California sometime soon, let us know. We'd love to have you as well. And then whoever wins Unicorn Battle goes to Unicorn Cup, which is our huge event. We're now finalizing the date, deciding when to do this, because obviously that's a lot of organization to have people fly in from different countries. So we have the agenda. We already completed check-in, introduction, jury performance. We're going to proceed to start a pitch session, and then we're going to have winners announcement and little networking. With that, welcome to our new season. And startups, I'm going to stop sharing the presentation now, and I'm going to invite you to share yours, and I'm going to be timing you and reminding you of time. And we're going to start with Marketon, represented by Richard. So please welcome, and Richard, feel free to share your screen when you're ready. All right, I think you're muted for now, and if you can make it full screen. All right, amazing. So I'm going to be timing you, 3 minutes and counting once you unmute. I think you're still muted, right?
Richard, you're still muted. Can you unmute
Sorry.
him?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Can you see?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Hello, my name is Richard Yang, CEO of Marketon. Everyone knows what the hologram technology is. Hologram technology is one of the immersive technology like AR, VR, and metaverse.
I think he's muted.
Yeah, he's muted.
Sorry. Yeah. While the wide variety of hologram holographic product that have entered the market so far. It was sensational at first, but it couldn't enter the market due to its technological limitation. Existing hologram technology can be only seen in the dark, and it is confirmed in a box, and you cannot interact with the hologram. Our hovering hologram is totally different from existing technology. It doesn't require goggle or screen to project a 3D visual, and people can interact with the hologram. The technology can be applied in many fields such as smart school, museum, and automobile. We are just around the corner to launch a new information service in link with ChatGPT. They are more realistic and futuristic than with sample monitor. There are many reasons to use our holographic technology. Hovering holographic technology have many advantages because images are created in the air, such as 3D depth perception, spatial free degree, interactive features, etc. These advantages are the reason why they are more innovative than existing hologram technology. Use cases are being realized in wide range of sectors, including education, museum, futuristic car, and the public sector. The Sajeom Natural History Museum is the only museum operated by the Seoul Metropolitan Government. In science classes, individual holograms were installed so that 25 students could learn by hologram at the same time. It will also allow the animals such as dinosaurs and tigers to be touched and rotated by applying 3D rendering technology. The comparative landscape of the hovering hologram market include AR, VR service and solution market, etc. The hovering hologram differ from existing player in that it doesn't use AR goggles, create a medium-free image, and can touch the image. These are our team members. We have a great experience in the respective field, more than 15 years. As CEO, I received the doctorate in engineering, and I started this job 4 years ago after 20 years of professional research in the field of ICT. We have to build a mass product system for preparation such as the futuristic future automotive sector, etc. In order to secure the company's operating fund and the manpower, the investment attraction amount is aimed at $2 million. 3D hologram technology is still very young. However, this industry has incredible potential, and it will greatly impact the world in the near future. As the leader of this field, we will be at front of the cultivating this hologram industry ecosystem. Thank you for attention.
All right, wonderful. So with that, I'd like to say, since we have some extra time, startups, I'm going to give you a bit of the extra time to finish off your presentations better. All right, Kelly, please go ahead with your question.
Thank you, Victoria. Richard, nice presentation. So could you please elaborate a little bit, how do you solve the challenges regarding interactivity, such as gesture recognition and haptic feedback systems?
I'm involved now in venture capital in London, mainly with the French tech, with C4 Ventures, raising their third fund, mainly in deep tech with 9 unicorns in their portfolio, and with Antler UK and Antler France. So I'm an investor, board member, and serial entrepreneur.
Thanks, Alexis. Appreciate you having you here today. Ryan Clark.
Wait a minute.
I think somebody's got their
exciting time. I'm also a get shit done kind of guy. So
listen,
I'm
I think listen, Victoria, somehow the feed's got to turn it off. Okay.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, so we need to. So Kelly asked a question. Kelly, can you ask that question again? Because
sure. Sure. So my question is, how do you solve the challenges regarding interactivity, such as gesture recognition and haptic feedback systems? Thank you, Richard.
Thank you for question. So our product is a company that provides holographic devices such as much clearer in the air than existing display. So as the rapid growth of the display technology, users' expectations are also very high. So we are confident that our product will satisfy this expectation desire.
Okay, thank you.
Wonderful. So Mark, please go ahead. I think you're muted.
Kelly, appreciate it. It's good to see you. Ryan Whitmore.
Hey, Gary, thanks for having me. I'm Ryan Whitmore.
Wait a minute, that's going
I've
on
been one of
again.
the
Somebody's
partners,
got
Chief Investment Officer for Florida Funders.
Victoria, that's playing again. Can we figure out why that's coming feedback? It's the yeah.
I think it's also because some people are raising questions and asking at the same time.
Yeah.
So
I think that's the pre-recorded part. Can we keep everybody on mute? Just the person asking the question?
yeah, let's please do that. All right, wonderful. Okay, so Michael, I think you were next, right?
Oh, okay, sounds good.
Okay.
Michael Drebin, just two quick questions. Could you talk a bit about the go-to-market strategy once you're rolling this out? And secondly, what's the intellectual property behind this that you've developed, patents, things like that? Thank you.
So from the beginning, I'm market strategies. I want to market partner in global locations. So I've got a market partner in USA and Singapore and Dubai and Taiwan, etc. So second question.
Well, sorry, just to clarify. So meaning, how are you going to bring this to market? What channels? I assume there's an OEM component. You're going to sell to car manufacturers or whatever it might be. How do you see yourself developing your sales pipeline?
So I'm focused on a market target is museum and smart school and future automotive car industry, etc. So from the beginning, I'm enter the museum and smart school and experience zone. I'm going to the market this field.
All right, wonderful. So Leon, I think we have time for one more question. So
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm working with holography for the last 30 years, and we had a company which created the first holographic goggles, and company was closed because there are a lot of technical issues behind it, and that's why for the last 50 years or 60 years since holography was invented, people try to create holographic displays, and nothing work. You don't have you don't have holographic displays on the market because, first of all, technology issues, you cannot get the good quality. And this is my question: how you ensure that you have the good quality that could compete with current display technologies? And second, low field of view, also how you're going to solve this problem. And third thing, holography potentially can be used in 1,000 applications, and startup should decide only one. Okay.
Okay,
Thank
so
you.
yeah, as you mentioned, compared to existing XR company and holographic company, when experience realistic image, and my greatest strength is that you can experience realistic image without wearing glass or goggle to see 3D visual. Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, thank you.
all right, wonderful. So I think everything is perfectly fixed. And with that, can I invite Robert to present Cerebrio? Robert, please share screen. All right, awesome. So I'm going to start counting 3 minutes once you're unmuted. So whenever you're ready.
Sorry, it just crashed. Are you there?
Let's go.
Hear me? Okay.
Yep.
Thank you. I'm Robert, the CEO of Cerebro. We are a generative AI company. Okay, so it did crash. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you, Robert.
Okay, that's optimal. I'll just get back. Okay, I'll try again. I'm Robert, the CEO of Cerebro. We're a generative AI company in radiology, shaping the future of AI-driven autonomous MRI, a future of a 5-minute scan. MRI is a fundamental tool to diagnose critical diseases like tumors, hemorrhages, and strokes. And I'm sure you've all been affected, or friends or family of those kinds of diseases. Our first product is focused on brain MRI, runs seamlessly on the MRI scanners themselves. The picture here shows our AI detecting a stroke for immediate care while the patient is still lying in the scanner. Now, the problem is that most people on our planet don't have access to MRI. There's simply not enough experts to deploy more MRI systems to manage the global population. Now, this is not just a third world problem. In the US, radiology staff shortage prohibits adequate care in many states. Now, we are building generative AI, shaping a future where everyone can get access to MRI so that every patient can be diagnosed in time. We make autonomous MRI. We continually validate our AI with hospitals across the globe, Europe, Asia, and even the US. And our FDA pivotal study with Mass General Brigham has been completed successfully. We have third-party publications comparing our AI to their top neuroradiologists. On the commercial side, we partnered non-exclusively with Siemens, the largest MRI manufacturer in the world, that have about 50% of the global market share. And we're in partnering dialogue with the majority of the rest of the market. Together, we will introduce the first clinical MRI and clinically intelligent MRI systems to change the world of medical imaging forever. Now, health tech, we have a health tech dream team across industry and scientific expertise with Martin and Akshay, my co-founders, that are leading experts in medical imaging AI with decades of experience in this field. Our CFO, Christine, comes from investment banking and corporate finance, and I myself have more than 25 years of leadership experience in the life science industry. I have a distinguished board, fantastic board with transactional heavyweights and OEM C-level track record. And I have a very good advisory board spanning across Europe and US with leading positions in the industry. Now, we've raised more than 12 million to date and are now raising a Series A round to launch with Siemens. Please do reach out if you have any questions, but I can take a few now. Thanks.
Wonderful. All right, Ryan, please go ahead with your question.
Yes, thanks, Robert. I want to kind of get clarity. You mentioned that kind of changing the MRI, but it sounds like more like you're replacing the radiologist. Can you clarify that? Like, what are you doing to either improve the MRI or is it really replacing the radiologist?
So we are, you can say, more a co-pilot for the MR technologist. So the technologist is the one, the pictures, what you see in my background here, if you can see, it's kind of small. I hope it's not, now it's crashing again. It's kind of small. See, the MR tech is operating an MRI machine. It keeps on breaking down. Yes. And we are providing this immediate feedback to the MR tech to provide a first-time right imaging with the most efficient imaging protocol or procedure as possible. Downstream, we're supporting the radiologist. The radiologist is the medical doctor reading. So we're not replacing them, but we are augmenting their capability to more accurately and faster and more efficiently provide a diagnostic report. I hope that clarifies.
All right, wonderful. Igor, please go ahead.
Okay, I just, Robert, I get confused. You told that you replace or may make MRI more democratic. Is it going on level of helping with imaging, or you do something with devices?
So we make software. I think the easiest analog to understand if you're not in the industry is the past 20 years where we've all become expert photographers with smart cameras that can take pretty good pictures with a single click. 20 years ago, some of us were struggling with analog cameras with a lot of knobs and bolts and things. The same way the MR Tech is a very highly specialized, super scarce expert in how to operate an MRI machine. We're making it into simple click, simple functions so that more can operate, more can be deployed, and more can be served.
So you just increase productivity. Thank you for explaining. I understand the stuff. We did the same what you want to do for MRI. Some company did it for ultrasound, and we sold this company to Philips. So I know the field.
Yeah.
But here I just could not understand. So hence is my question: how you gonna go to market?
Yeah. So our primary go-to-market is through the OEM integration. As you see here on the picture, we are integrated on the Siemens.
We losing?
I am back. I don't know. I have not experienced a crash on Zoom the past year. So this is
That's just today. That's just today. Everyone's having little issues, but I think we're doing well.
Okay.
Yep.
So
Mhm.
I did not answer the question. The go-to-market is primarily through the OEMs. So we are in partnering dialogue with the other big players like GE, where we are integrating seamlessly on the MRI console, and they are distributing, reselling our technology as part of their offering to the market. We are also working with distributors and directly selling to hospitals, but that's a long hurdle. Yeah.
But you're also aware about competition because this in image and interpretation, even before ChatGPT, competition was huge, and now it is massive. What do you think about competitiveness of your solution?
So there are a lot of X-ray, a lot of CT players out there. Those modalities are orders of magnitude less complicated than MRI. There are also a few mammography and ultrasound companies out there. We do not have any immediate MRI competitors in the space that we're operating because we moved upstream during acquisition. So this is still quite unique. We have a leading position in a product pipeline that we, with adequate funding down the next few years, will enable us to maintain a leading position as the clinical intelligence background of the MRI machines.
Mhm. Wonderful. That's amazing. So that's about what we have time for. But Mark, Gary, Mark Lokarev, I'm gonna invite you to leave your questions in the Q&A or in the chat. And so startups, please make sure to answer the questions addressed to you. All right, Robert, thank you very much.
Reach out if you want to contact me. That's great. Thanks for
All right, and please allow me to invite our next participant. So performance industries. Once you have, access, please share your screen, and I'm going to start the timing when you're going to be unmuted. All right, can you unmute? Okay. Do we have you? We can see the presentation. Can you unmute? I don't think we hear you.
Espen, you need to unmute.
I honestly think it might be all Zoom issues today. Just because it's
I had issues earlier as well, so.
Oh.
Espen,
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking,
there you
right?
go. Espen's ready. Go ahead, Espen.
Good.
It is
Yeah, let's go.
Håvard that is supposed to do the presentation, but if he's not able to unmute, or maybe you need to do it, Victoria.
Okay. Howard, can you unmute now? Okay, I'm clicking ask to unmute and it's not working. Yep, it is Zoom. It is Zoom, ladies and gentlemen. Right. Howard, can you try to join from another device? And we can go to another startup for now. All right. Okay. Then while you guys are figuring this out, let me then invite Flat Fee. Ning, would you be able to present?
Yeah, give me a second. I'm trying to share screen. Yes, looks like it's all good. Can you see me now?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, great. Thank you everybody for joining us today. My name is Ning Zhan. I'm the CEO of FlatFee. We are a cross-border AI compliance solution platform. What we do is we help people to expand globally, especially small to medium-sized companies. We provide all the compliance services they might need, including setting up the companies and then bookkeeping, tax, and the human resource and intellectual property. I am also struggling with something here. You hear the tech sound. I cannot, what?
We can see you. We can see you
I
and
know
we can see your
I
slide.
cannot,
Okay.
I cannot just flip this page for whatever reason. Page flipping just froze. I am sorry. I'm going to restart my PPT. Do you hear the sound? There is a weird sound on background.
No.
No sound. Nope. Sounds all good.
Okay.
While you're figuring this out, maybe we can check if Howard, how can you talk? Let's check whether you can speak.
Yes. Can you hear me now?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So
The whole thing, I'll
yeah.
just explain what happens. The whole thing just froze when I share the screen. The whole thing is frozen and it's not possible even to move anything.
Yeah, I have to say I had issues earlier with that, and then maybe what would work is if people can share their presentations with Victoria and maybe
That's what I'm thinking,
further
Victoria.
host
Can you control
slides.
the presentations and flip them?
Yeah.
Victoria,
if you can hear me now, it
Yeah,
seems to
yeah.
work.
Let's try. Oh, good. Let's try this way.
Okay,
it sounds like Zoom's having a problem today. So let's
yeah.
Let's.
But it could
I
be
was having
a good way to do it like I did now, to start with unmuting and then sharing.
Yeah, I had the same issue. Okay, so Howard, then I'm going to time you. So 3 minutes and counting.
Yes. Okay. Good. I'm Håvard and excited to introduce Extensity. Love and affection are essential for all of us, but erectile function, or the ability to rise to the occasion, is often taken for granted, until one day it isn't. Remember Viagra? Of course, one of the most successful business launches in medical history, with more than 1 billion in sales the first year, and thus proving an enormous global appetite for such products. Eric, now on our team, led that launch. We are addressing the 300 million men with unsolved erectile dysfunction. That's the guys who can't use drugs to solve their impotence. We offer a non-invasive alternative, a patented solution, motorized handheld device that increases blood flow and cell activation. Initial results show that it can prevent, reduce, and perhaps even solve erectile dysfunction. But hey, that's not all. During product development, we discovered what we now call the billion-dollar side effect. Testers reported new sensations, increased intensity, and with some even experiencing multi-orgasm, something previously only enjoyed by women. This discovery expands our market. We now target both the high-margin medical market and the fast and booming male pleasure market. And the feedback from the distribution partners is very positive, highlighting the novelty and the innovation level of the product, like the greatest category innovation in recent time, and the global potential, referring to brands like Womanizer and what they did to the female segment. Our team is experienced. Aspen has gone global before in retail. Eric led the global launch of Viagra, and I have been working with many of the biggest brands on earth. We are now in production, planning for a launch with a Scandinavian retailer in January. And we see capital partners and everything we now need to scale into a global leader position in both categories. And part of that scaling is, of course, developing a digital presence and online services for improved customer engagement and to facilitate data collection. So thank you, and happy to take your questions together with Aspen, our CEO and inventor. Thank you.
Wonderful. Amazing. Okay, Maria, please go ahead.
Great presentation. Thank you. Just want to understand, what stage are you in at the moment?
Yeah, Aspen, do you want to answer the questions?
Yeah. So right now we are preparing for a launch, and then we would go along with the key players in Scandinavia, and immediately after that we would scale further on globally. We would start up with B2B2C with the key players, selling our products FOB from the manufacturer directly, so we can scale with a small organization. And when we grow and become larger, then we can also add on D2C and artificial intelligence and app solutions and so on. So right now we are about to launch locally.
And how many of these distributors do you have already contract with?
So right now we have one within medical category, and we have one distributor ready within intimacy category.
And I think it's fair to say that we are awaiting the first batch of 1,000 products, and that gives us the time to do more testing. That's why we go slow with one in each category and use the time to test and do the research together with them.
Okay, amazing. Mark, please go ahead.
Yeah, can you describe exactly how the product works, what the technology is, and then on the testing efficacy, are there FDA-like approvals that you have to get? And then finally, what's the price point on the product?
So the price point on the product for medical, it would be $800 for each unit. Within the intimacy category, it would be $200 would be the retail level for this. Let me see, what was the other question? It was
the technology, is this some sort of
so our technology, we are not showing our product in public arenas yet, but anyone of you that would like to see our technology, we invite in a separate meeting where we can present to you our technology. It's very easy to understand, but before launch, at least some of our strategy is not to release exact explanation or drawings, but we are very happy to explain to you after all.
All right, great. So Ryan?
I understand what you're saying there in that last point, but maybe can you describe, is it a device, is it a pill, is it reusable, or is it disposable? I'm a little confused on that part. Thank you.
Yeah. I understand that you're confused 100%. What we have invented is a device that is able to enforce activation of the rectal muscles that no one are able to do in the same way, and also to enforce arterial blood flow with a much higher arterial blood flow with higher level of oxygen and nutrients to the area than anyone else. So it's kind of a solution creating increased blood flow. And it's a new power transfer method that we have invented and got patents on for this. And I'm also happy to show that to you in a meeting.
All right, it's great. And we have time for one more question. So Gary.
I can't hear anything.
You're on mute, Gary.
I mean, yeah, are you? I think you're unmuted. Let's see. I can't hear you for some reason. You're cutting out.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I can hear a little now.
All right. Can you try to type your question in the Q&A? All right, Mark, yep, quick question.
Yeah, so back on the technology, is it fair to say that this is materially different than shockwave therapy?
Yes, it is different. We also tried electricity and a lot of different things, but it doesn't work too well. But our technology is on a totally different level. Yeah, so it's not a shockwave or electric solution. It's a power transfer method allowing forces to protrude into soft material, because other solutions for trying to transfer forces into soft material are not able to go through because it's absorbed by the soft material unless you use our new groundbreaking method for it.
Yeah, interesting.
Wonderful. Okay, thank you very much. With that, let me invite our next participant. So Flat Fee, represented by Ning.
It now says other participant is sharing. I cannot share. Okay. Well, going to share now. Looks like it's working this time.
Amazing. So yeah, let's try that. So 3 minutes and counting.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ning Zhen. I'm the CEO of FlatFee, and we are a cross-border AI compliance solutions platform. We help the small companies and mid-sized companies expand globally by providing all the services they need when they start or operate their business in another country, including company formation, accounting, HR, tax. What we have seen is that there is a huge market for it. And since we launched our website in 2022, we've already completed 17,000 transactions, helping more than 1,000 companies expanding their presence to another foreign country. And we're covering more than 200 services and achieved 2.5 million gross revenue in 2023, the second year after we launched. And this year, we're looking at 6.4 million of gross revenue. So this is our team, and a little bit about what we do. I am an international corporate M&A attorney for more than 15 years. So I spent many years of my life helping the big guys, those international companies, Fortune 500s, to expand into a new territory. And at that time, myself was charging 800 per hour as an attorney, seeing what they are doing. And I realized there is a huge vacuum in the market where the small to mid-sized companies, they don't get the sufficient support in compliance services when they are growing into another foreign country. And I realized I can do that with the right support. That's why we have our CTO, Anthony Cordero, and also our Chief Human Resource Officer, Mei-Ling, joining me. Together, we are putting together this platform where we have freelancers, more than 3,000 freelancers globally, right now helping those small to mid-sized companies expanding globally. And we're using AI and our technology to make the process easy and scalable. And this is a huge market because right now everybody can set up their Amazon store or launch their YouTube channel to serve and sell their service or products in another foreign country. It's very easy, easier than ever in the past. But in order to achieve compliance and then maintain that compliance in another country, it's continuing to be very complicated with tons of support from the local professionals at a very high rate. And then the danger of not having the compliance is that you might get fined, you might get terminated. Platform can stop you anytime. So compared to the ease of setting up things in another country, to maintain it continue to be super difficult. And that's what we are doing. We provide the market this unique solution where we give clear guidance and process to help those small to mid-sized companies to achieve compliance. We provide affordable and clear budget. And also we use technology to minimize human error and make it a very scalable process. This is how we do it. We use AI. We use AI to support the pre-sale Q&A to find the service they need and guide them through the process. We use AI to do follow-up, to gather information, to go through the entire fulfillment and compliance fulfillment process. The most important thing, which differentiates us from other competitors in the market, is we actually have the AI technology there to support our freelancers and also learn from our freelancers. Because AI right now is not perfect. They cannot do the work 100%. We use our freelancers to do the last mile, and also we learn from our freelancers while they do the job. So it is a human in the loop sort of training supported by our AI. So combining with our AI process management as well as our freelancers, we are able to reduce the cost of fulfilling those compliance needs at 1/10 of the cost compared to the traditional law firms, accounting firms, and HR agencies. So we are truly unique in the marketplace right now. We're the only one out there who can provide this one-stop shop covering multiple services and multiple jurisdictions. And more importantly, we have the ability to self-evolve because of our freelancers and our human and also our AI. So we can always cover more services and stay on top of all the new laws and new regulations. And right now we are raising our Series Seed. If you have any questions, just let me know. We are mainly raising finance for the R&D and customer service and marketing.
Right.
Thank you, everybody.
Amazing. All right, Michael, please go ahead with your question.
Hi, yes, thank you. Thank you, Michael Drebin. So just two quick questions. So number one on the data. So how are you looking at customer data and how are you ring fencing, say, my data versus another company or potentially a competitor in your LLM? And then the second thing is, what's the accountability here? So if there's an error and the company suffers some type of damage because of a gap or a lapse in the compliance, so who owns that? Who owns that error and that mistake? Do you have liability? Is it the other party on the other side of the platform? And so how do you ensure the quality control of the third parties?
Thank you. That's a very great question. And first of all, that for the freelancers doing work on our platform, we do own the data. So all the fine tuning is on our own database, our own LLM. So it's ours. So that's why all those freelancers fulfilling the work that all the 17,000 jobs we've done so far, they are our data that is unique to us. And for the second question you have, that question gets asked all the time by both the clients, also the freelancers. We basically are the one with the contractual privity with our clients. So when they sign an agreement, when they get the service from us, flat fee is responsible. And then that's why the vendors, when they come in, most of our professionals, they do have license, they're attorneys or CPAs. So for their professional errors, they own their part. But we own our part. We do have omission and error insurance as well. So far, we haven't identified huge issues to the date, but we do also ask our vendors to own their own mistakes if they are licensed professional. But overall, our clients will go after us and we go through indemnification process with our vendors if necessary. So far, it hasn't happened yet.
Thank you.
Okay, great. Igor?
I try to understand what is really your business model and whom you compete.
Correct. The business model is basically we get the orders from clients. Like I said, the privity is from us and our clients. They will say, I want to set up a company and I want to maintain it every year. We'll say every year you need to spend about 3,000 USD, which covers bookkeeping, tax, and the company annual maintenance. If you hire one employee, you pay a little bit more. So that, and then once we get this job as a package, we assign to different vendors. There will be attorneys, there will be corporate agents, there will be HR people, and then we have all those people working together. Of course, we create all the templates, internal process, and then our freelancers are doing the last mile just to check and do Q&A with our AI to make sure they do the work correctly. So the end result got pushed to the client. Here's your company. And of course, we had demo I can send to you after this. And this is your company. This is all the future dates you need to adhere to. Here's all the obligations you need to do. And then that is kind of the whole loop of our service. And then our competitor, right now, there are a lot of SaaS products, but they are for particular line. For example, Deal is doing global EOR, and you might know Dula, it's pretty new, like outreach as well. They do a US company. There is a LegalZoom. They do a lot within the US. They don't help foreigners. So there are a lot of competitors in their small domain, but there is not really that direct competitor doing what we're just talking about, which is one-stop shop covering multiple services, covering multiple jurisdictions, given that all the freelancers we have, and having the ability to learn new things all the time. And then just correct this error, learning new things. We are the only one out there doing it.
Okay, thank you.
All right, that's about what we have time for. But Kelly, can I ask you to put your question in the chat or in the Q&A?
Sure. Yeah.
All right, amazing. So thank you very much, Ning. And with that, let me please invite our next participant, Arbor, represented by Chini. All right, I'm going to start timing you once you're unmuted.
Thank you, Victoria. Hi, everyone. This is Cheney from Arbor. Arbor is a hyper-personalized news service powered by LMM, our proprietary technology atomic cluster. We believe that in the future, actually, you can get it right now if we provide a service that can help you read everything that interests you, then you just need to read the essence. You can skip all those bullshit. A bit of a personal background. My previous experiences include a CEO of a SaaS company that provides deep learning SaaS solution to banks to help them extract financial documents. CEO of one of the most traditional newspaper in Hong Kong and successfully help them going through the digital transformation. Managing partner and co-founder of a 1.5 billion asset management firm. I'm also advising a few of the wealthiest families in Asia. I believe my experience in AI and media helped me perfectly land on this very exciting opportunity I would like to share with you today. I believe I don't have to mention how much information overload is a big problem to everyone in the world right now. And I believe we all share that Gen AI is only making it a bigger problem. With the overwhelming AI generated content on the internet, our search engine is flooded by SEO articles created by AI. But of course, we know that Gen AI is a double-edged sword. We believe we've found the right solution to that. We believe in the era of Gen AI, everyone deserves to have hyper-personalized news service that every word is written just for you. We are providing this service right now just for $10 a month. It's highly condensed. We search over 1,000 articles every day, condense it into like some of the summary pieces written just for you to save you roughly 4 hours a day. It's totally personalized. You can pick any topic you like, or you can just fill in the role. For example, what kind of job occupation in what kind of firm you work on will predict what kind of topics that will interest you the most. And I guess the most interesting is because it's no longer pre-written articles like any articles in the past. We understand your intention and we can write to exactly the perspectives that you're looking after. Our subscribers have found very precise topic coverage fitting their daily professional reads that include like some very wild examples like spherical coach, restaurant owners, cardiologists. There's no topic too niche to be covered by us. Our business model includes not just on the part of AI, but we also see the value of like top tier publishers on their branding, on the quality content behind paywall. So we're very we're honored to share that we're New York Times' first AI platform distributing partner. We're also signing on New England Journal of Medicine, Caixin, Financial Times, Bloomberg, and a number of top-tier publishers going on. We believe this cross-selling synergy between top-tier publishers and us as an AI tool will create a great value that readers will understand very well and hitting our target audience very well. We have just launched the monetization for 3 months, but we have already achieved $1 million annual recurring revenue through both B2C subscription and a very interesting model of B2B sponsored subscription. An example includes one of the major pharmaceutical companies in the world is actually sponsoring our readers, who are mainly the doctors, to read both our AI summary and also selected journals from New England Journal of Medicine. That shows the examples how we are actually working very well through not just B2C channel, but also B2B to hit really like the high-end professional readers. It's definitely not just a wrapper over ChatGPT, because after all, summarization is straightforward, but in order to pick the right article, to organize the internet in a way that we don't crawl repeated content, that requires a lot of like proprietary model training, especially in the field of RAG. We have like proprietary fine-tuning and training on our content grouping model. We have particularly trained RAG model that can does cross-lingual retrieval. We need to develop our own engine on intention understanding and so on. That ride a lot on our previous experience on extracting financial documents for the banks. So that also includes some of the proprietary models that even ChatGPT cannot achieve right now. To wrap up, we believe that it's now at the 4th wave of media industry, from the traditional media to electronic media to social media. Generative media is the next social media. It's the new industry, and we are lucky to be one of the earliest players in the field. It's definitely to disrupt everyone's media consumption behaviors in the future, and wish to play a major part in it. Thank you everyone, and happy to take any question from here.
Wonderful. So Kelly, please go ahead.
Thank you, Victoria. Chinny, nice presentation. So I have 2 quick questions. First one is, are there any metrics or user feedback that demonstrate high user satisfaction? And question number 2, what is the conversion rate from free to paid users?
Sure. So first question, our current delivery is through email, and the email open rate is over 60% daily. So it's a symbol of high stickiness. And right now we are actually not, our model is not really, it is quite straightforward. We have a website, it's called espresso.arbor.ai. You go there, you fill in all the form, then you go to subscribe. So we don't really offer the free service right now. We go straight into the payment.
Okay, thank you. All the best.
Thank you, Kelly.
All right. Ryan?
Hey, yeah, great presentation. I appreciate it. Couple quick questions for me. From a distinct value perspective, obviously lots of people doing summarization have for a long time. Do y'all train your own models? And then talk to me a little bit about strategies around hallucination detection and things like that. And where would you say your DVP is, or your distinct value?
Sure. Thank you, Ryan. Yes, summarization has been done by many, and especially in the field of RAG, right? I believe like what we have been doing is we have been helping the banks doing a lot of like long financial documents for long. So that gives us some proprietary data that can get into even the field of financial documents, financial statements, like tables, that kind of like particular documents. B, we are really working on the cross-lingual context that we don't see that's been done by many people before. Hallucination has been done by, like, say, Fataras, like those like 30 million fundraising company, but our evaluation shows that we actually can do like longer context and cross-lingual hallucination detection better than Fataras. So I guess we're at a pretty good shape.
Great. Yeah, good answer. Yeah, I'd love to hear a little bit more around some of that. So yeah, feel free to PM me.
Thank you, Ryan.
Wonderful. We have time for one more question, Igor.
Okay, could you please explain how you do this depersonalization? What kind of tools are you implementing, and how people are active interacting with these tools?
Sure. It involves, we still have to ask you some questions. So it's not like I'm a fortune teller by seeing your face, understanding who you are. But then we have like two approaches to ask you. One is like we really ask you on what topics you're interested in, but instead of like just some standard topics you click on, you can type whatever you want. It's like Google Alert, but then with GenAI and everything, it's now more accurate. You don't receive like spams of irrelevant articles every day through Google Alert. Like people drop out from Google Alert anymore, right? But with GenAI, we can now make it much more relevant because each word is written just for you. Another thing is with GenAI, we can make it even more interesting because with the reasoning capability, if you're telling me you're a serial entrepreneur in the tech space, you're focused on AI right now, you're working on a new idea in the health, tech, things like that, then we actually would brainstorm, expand the search queries, with reasoning, trying to get into a broader search space of areas that we think you will be interested into. Then we'll feed you the content, and then through how you read the articles, we use like the traditional recommendation engine that can help adjust the strategy on what to show you, what not to show you.
And what do you think about competition? Something like Morgan Brew, for example.
Excuse me,
Morning Brew.
Morgan Brew.
You don't know them. Okay, forget.
I'm not aware of Morgan Brew. Sorry.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. No, it is companies, they started before you. They're a few years around. They have already quite... and the idea was similar. Personalized daily newsletter. And it's successful too.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. So I guess the thing is like personalized news reading is nothing new. Everyone wants to achieve that. It's kind of like a holy grail. Everyone wants to do it. Like in the past, like even in China, there's a today headline, and then there is like a news break, which is like becoming a unicorn in US right now, but they were pre-LM, pre-generative AI. So it was more a recommendation engine showing you pre-written articles that trying to guess which article you may be interested into. But it's not the hyper-personalization we are talking about here. With GenAI, every word is written just for you instead of like just trying to match you with the right article. That kind of personalization is totally different than we've experienced before.
Gotcha. Sounds interesting.
Thank you, Edgar.
That's about what we have time for. But Maria, please leave your question in the chat. And startups, there are quite a few questions, so feel free to answer them whenever you can. And with that, let me invite our last participant. So Ecomedia, represented by Kathleen. So whenever you're ready. All right, and please unmute.
Over the last few weeks, the whole planet has felt the heat. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Over the last few weeks, the whole planet has felt the heat. We know it's here, we know it's real, and we know that 38% of it is caused by buildings and their supply chain. Let's change that. I'm Kathleen. I'm a Harvard MBA and a Lehigh engineer with 4 successful venture-backed startups. And I'm working on Ecomedes to save our clients tons of money while reducing the impact of the built environment. The building product market is confused and bogged down in manual processes, overwhelmed by data that's locked up in these PDFs. It costs everybody money. And the buyers want to buy sustainable stuff, but they can't because they're buried under this avalanche of data. It's total chaos. Ecomedes transforms this chaos to clarity. We neatly organize the most building product sustainability data in the world and have saved $20 million in the last year for both buyers and sellers. It all starts with the buyer. These are building owners and operators, and they spend $1 trillion a year on products. They're under two new pressures. The first is compliance, more disclosures than ever. The second is upside. The green premium is now in double digits. So these two things cause the building owners to push complex sustainability requirements down the supply chain to the manufacturer. By automating that communication, we have earned 2.4 million in annual recurring subscription, mostly from the manufacturers. They get 10x ROI by time savings for their sales force and their customer support team. The property owners get cost-effective compliance. They have put $2.8 billion of projects on the Ecomedes platform. And that's a really big number for a 12-person company like us, but we're just getting started because we're bringing intelligence to sustainability with AI. Our database is the best training data in the world. We're making search and co-pilot navigation so that a common person without a PhD can understand that. And next, we're building autonomous agents for buyers and sellers. To do this, we need a pro team, and we have it. Our team has decades of experience from big companies like Microsoft, Oracle, and Amazon, as well as we've all earned our stripes at startups. So I welcome you to join us today and our investors such as Pivot North Capital and M12 Microsoft to join our Seed 2 round. The time is now because we've proven the value and we can repeat it for our customers. And the time is also now because the headlines and the regulators agree that the urgency is greater than ever. So we can take the dream of a sustainable built environment and make it a profitable reality. Thank you so much, and I'd love to hear your questions.
All right, amazing. Judges, do we have any questions or is everything clear? Let me know. Okay, Michael, please go ahead.
Yes, hi. Yeah, thank you, Kathleen. Great presentation. Very punchy. Always helpful. The database. So who maintains the database and kind of how are you making sure that you're tracking quality control, that the items that are in there are accurate and from a regulatory perspective and compliance perspective?
Yes, thank you for that question. We pull in data from over 100 sources. Most of those sources are third-party and trade orgs that do the actual testing of the products. When you're building buildings, it's not enough for a manufacturer to say it's good, right? It has to be tested by a third party. So we have been building relationships and data bridges to those companies for over 8 years. We do also take data from manufacturers and we identify it as such. So we have first-party and third-party data, and we identify the freshness date as well as the source, which really differentiates us compared to any other catalog on the planet.
Thank you.
You want me to call on the hands, or did you want to do it, Victoria?
Yeah. So, Philippe?
Philippe, is that me? Yeah. Who else has such a Bible of companies that are good to do business with?
The competitors that we see that have a similar Bible are usually focused on one particular impact bucket. For example, there's a great carbon database called EC3, but we combine the carbon data with all the different impact areas such as toxicity, water usage, resource use, and no one has something as comprehensive. So all the other Bibles, we aggregate. We're the meta Bible.
Is that what's your footprint in the US? Is it US only? Is it?
We're North America only. Canada is actually our largest customer right now. So we cover North America, but many of our customers are headquartered in Europe. And so we have an international light offering. And with the new round, we plan to build that out and have a real international offering. There's a lot of demand in the EU for this product.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, thanks.
Ryan?
Thanks, Kathleen. I was just wondering, like, what's the typical customer profile? And can you explain why this is not, or why this is recurring revenue instead of more project-based?
Yeah, so the typical customer on the manufacturer, there are 25 categories of products in all the CSI divisions to build and maintain a building. We have focused initially on furnishing, flooring, and construction materials. So a typical customer would be like a Saint-Gobain, which is the largest construction product company in the world. It's a $40 billion company, and we handle all their USA divisions. On the buyer side, our typical paying customers so far are governments. We have 3 US federal agencies and the government of Canada, but we have tons of building owners using our free product, and we plan to monetize them later.
Excellent, thanks. Let's see, who's next? Michael Flight?
Yeah, they actually answered some of my questions. So it's a two-sided marketplace. And the manufacturers have to pay to be listed?
No, we actually list 10,000 brands, of which about 100 are customers, but the non-customer brands have raw data from the certifiers and eco labels, and our customers have highly cultivated data, and we manage it on their behalf. So to satisfy our buyers, we actually have to get critical mass of manufacturers. So it's a very big database. But we don't do data management for non-customers. So the data is lower quality and it's not always complete, whereas where our customers have like grade A data.
And I know there's third-party testing and stuff, but how do you verify that they've actually gotten the third-party testing?
We get the data directly from the third-party testers. So folks like Underwriters Lab, Cradle to Cradle, 100 different sources. And we work very closely with those certifiers. They are terrible at data management. They don't even call SKUs by the right number, and they constantly change their format. So it's a messy problem that we have harmonized for both sides of the market.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Excellent, thanks. Maria?
Yes, thank you. So do you work with any of the local governments? Because I know there are the construction associations and everyone is more about sustainability. So have you started working with any of the local governments or cities?
Yes, we have worked with, right now we're sticking to the federal level just for size and because it puts more demand into our system. But we have worked with California Energy Commission, and we have a website for the CEC called Empower Procurement. That is for the state of California. We have talked to the city of San Francisco. I live in San Francisco and have tried to encourage them to use Ecomedes, but they're still free users. So most of the local governments are using our free product, and then the larger governments are paying to customize and to put their precise sustainability specifications into this like at scale evaluation tool.
Thanks, Kathleen. Mark?
Yeah, can you describe your pricing model scalers? How does a customer become, go from a 10,000 ARR to say 250,000 ARR?
Great question. I'll give you an example. Hewlett Packard went from 40,000 to 200,000. The first step was to go international. So we serve 5 markets for HP. That took us from 40K to 160. And then they recently did another upsell with what we call a carbon package. Embodied carbon has become tremendously important and is actually going into California code as of July 1. So this carbon package included additional carbon data, carbon output, and ways to get the carbon data to their sales reps. So that's just one example, going from 40K to 200K.
Great, thanks.
Typically, it's brands. HP is a single brand, so for them, there's no other brands. But many construction, furnishing, and flooring companies are families of brands. So we usually start with one, and then we add brands, and that grows the ARR pretty healthy too.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay, wonderful. Now
Thanks.
that we're finished with questions, judges, let us take 2 more minutes for you to finish voting. And meanwhile, judges, would anyone like to share just your reasoning? Who's your favorite company for today? Why did you vote for them? Maybe your top 2 or top 3 companies. Gary, who do you think we can ask for?
Yeah, I think well, let's go down through. Gary with 2 R's. What do you think, Gary? Can you hear me? Who did you like today? You can't hear. Okay. Okay. Let's go down 3. George, who was your favorite today?
It's actually quite difficult. It's like picking your favorite child. Let me see here. I really like Arbor because I like the business, but I like the presentation of Ecomedes most. And I have to give a little bit of a shout out to all of these founders that are from abroad and were presenting in another language than their native language, because presenting is already difficult. But yeah, do it in another language, it's even worse. So y'all did a great job.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the one thing at GSD, you know, we have, so Robert's from Denmark, with Cerebru, we've got Marketon from Korea, South Korea, and we've got Norwegian companies here. So people from all over, and you're right, in doing it in a second language, as you know, is not easy, but I'm real proud of them because they've worked really hard for the last 15 weeks to get to where we are today. So all of them have done a great job from my perspective. Jose, who was your favorite today?
That would be the last presentation, Ecomedes.
Yeah, we got to make this world a little bit better place, right? It's you know, all of us are feeling these temperature swings and the climate change, and having, you know, to be able to understand what we have and to make those course corrections important. Ryan Whitmore, who's your favorite?
Oh, I think Extensity may have a huge upside, but I don't know enough about it yet to say that they're the winner. So I was between Ecomedes and Cerebro.
Got it. Thanks, appreciate it, Ryan. Let's see, who else do we have?
Gary, can you hear me now?
Yes, I hear you perfectly.
Oh, good. I don't know what happened there. Yeah, I really liked Ecomedes as well. I just think that, you know, it's just well put together, a lot of facts. And I do understand, you know, obviously language is a barrier sometimes, you know, to these presentations. But I think going forward, you know, that has to be taken into consideration as well in terms of who actually does the presentation, because there are certain situations in a presentation where I just couldn't understand, I couldn't hear, I just couldn't make out what they were trying to convey, and I think that worked against them from my perspective. So I think being very prepared with the right presenter in the language of presentation is critical. Just a little
Yeah,
bit
no,
of
that's a really good point. I mean, the one thing we do is we try to encourage to make sure that they've got somebody that's got, you know, the, you know, near perfect English in this setting to be able to come and do the presentation. But you're right, it's a challenge. I mean, we have 59 countries now inside of GSD, and there's these incredible, on the other side, we don't want to miss out on opportunities where there's companies that, you know, have gotten traction and have some incredible technology. So we have to do a better job in terms of the marketing, right? They got to understand from a native language, the nuances of the language, and to be able to communicate it. So appreciate that feedback. Mark Lakarev, how about you?
Well, I have to 100% agree with Gary with 2 R's. I think Ecomedes had by far the punchiest, most organized, most articulated presentation. Would expect nothing less from a Harvard MBA. But it was well put together. I think, you know, in terms of language issues, yes, it can be hard when you're trying to explain something, but that doesn't mean you can't set up your presentation to be punchy and hitting all the points that you need to hit in a short amount of time. And then I think the company that has, I think by far the biggest potential upside, it's literally the holy grail if it's for real, is Performance Industries or Extensity. That would be unbelievable if it really works, but the jury's out until we know more.
That might come second to hair regrowth. I think that might be a bigger one for us.
No, it's great. Well, I mean, the one thing about these companies, when we look at the companies, we look for high growth potential companies or companies that are getting, that are already growing and down that curve. And so it's incredible to have them. I don't know about all of you, but what I like is that we don't have a lot of companies inside of GSD, but they're pretty powerful, the ones we have, right? And I'm real proud of them. Kathleen, we worked a long time on the presentation, didn't we? We had some ups and downs and ins and outs, but she's very modest, all of them, right? Ning with flat fee, I'm real proud of her. Ning, where will you be this year in terms of revenue? North of 7 million, correct?
Yeah, close to it.
Yeah, so
6.4, I think.
Yeah, so to go from 2 million to 6.4 million in a year, that's amazing, right? And at the same time, to make this world a little bit better place and give people the democratization of opportunity. So cool stuff. Our startups, I feel like I'm their greatest cheerleader because I live with them for those 15 weeks and you get to dive into them, whether it's Arbor and Cheney, Cheney, being from a $1.5 billion family office in Hong Kong and coming in and taking this company in 3 months, doing $1 million worth of revenue. That's pretty incredible. So, hats off to each one of you, right? I'm really proud of you all. You're doing a really good job. And I'm glad you all became part of the GSD family. And I'm glad that now we're putting together a substantial fund to be able to go in and support these companies. And all of my friends here that are funds, we all work together, right? We're all part of the same team. We're all looking for those opportunities together to make this world a little bit better place. So, how about you, Kelly? Who was your favorite?
First of all, thank you, Gary, for organizing such a great event. So based on my investment interests and resources available, so my top 2 picks for today are flat fee and Arbor. So for flat fee, I see the great potential for the rapid revenue growth. And my question is, what market segments have shown the most growth and why to Ning? And for Arbor, it's quite interesting to come up with a generative media. So I'm really looking forward to see how generative media can actually transform content creation, interaction, and personalization in digital space. So congratulations to all the startup. Thank you.
Yeah, Kumar, how about you?
Hey, Gary, thank you. To be honest, all these startups are great. Everyone has put together a really good startup and the product. Few things of course, this was a short page. Wanted to understand about few of the market, go to market for them. And I think there's a huge potential for each of them. But then there's 2 things which I wanted to understand more is one is the go to market, but at the same time, mostly AI companies, there's a huge competition out there and building AI companies is becoming more cheaper and cheaper. And the commodity is like a commodity. So what kind of moat can be found in each of these and what they have found to go to market? Because all of them have potentially huge market opportunity. Like Arbor is a great opportunity for generative media, but at the same time, it can be super crowded. So how is the data is the real moat, or what is the real moat to have the differentiability in the market and then grow at a hyper growth? Ecomedies is really good because they have a real moat here, and plus ESG play and all those things, which is a huge market opportunity. So all of them are great. Ecomedies, I would say, is the top, and performance industry has a huge potential, as everyone is saying, if it works really well. And not I don't know much about him, but just looking from the industry perspective.
That's great. Alexis, how about you?
Yeah, thank you, Gary. Really like the event today. Fantastic presentation from all of them. My top three were really flat fee. I think the scalability of flat fee. I love the model. Half AI, half human, with a lot of freelancers already and 6.4 million revenue. Arbor is intriguing me. I was in the media sector in France, and I like what he's trying to build, and I think there is a potential there. And clearly, the last one, Ecomedes, brilliant presentation, very powerful, and a potential success with Saint-Gobain here. So that was my top three.
Thank you. Igor Rabinky.
Okay, thank you, Gary, for presenting these companies. Okay, my favorites are Arbor and Flat Fee. Okay, because I see here clear business opportunities, and for impact and also perspective, it could be performance and cerebral. It's much less clear how they will perform, but clear that industries are important.
That's great. Thanks. Leon.
Yeah, first of all, it's my opinion. It's not mine. I follow Warren Buffett opinion. Do not invest in companies dealing with government. So amazing company committees, but this is what I follow. Second, I like combination of people's capability, founders' capabilities, and the market. And winner here is Arbor. Really, Arbor, because he has amazing capability, amazing experience, and he knows, this guy knows how to make the business. I talked to him before, and it's amazing. And the second place is Cerebro, because it's amazing business and again, great capabilities of the founders team. So it's fantastic. All companies are fantastic. It's fantastic presentation, but these two, I think, from my opinion, are the best.
That's great. Thanks, Leon. I really appreciate it. Michael Draven. You're on mute.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, I would second that, and I would say that anyone that's ever raised money, understands that getting in front of a room of strangers and doing your pitch is the most gut-wrenching, just intense experience you'll ever have with everything on the line. So I 100% commend everyone for coming and doing this. And it's absolutely, I just have the highest respect for anyone that makes the jump into entrepreneurship. So congratulations to all the companies. I think I'll just kind of briefly touch on some thoughts on Market On. It's interesting, but I just couldn't get a sense of really what the business opportunity was. So cool technology, love cool technology, but I think a little bit more articulation on kind of how you make money off of that would be helpful. Cerebro, also very strong, great team. If it works, it'll be transformative, I think, for millions of people potentially. So amazing vision and mission. Clearly, the risk there is regulatory, right? You've got to clear your compliance hurdles. Performance Industries, cool. Obviously, couldn't see the demo, but be curious to see as that launches what that turns into. Flat Fee, again, a strong idea, strong team. I'm concerned there about the liability and the issues at scale, right? So starting up, obviously they haven't had any issues, but I think if you're hitting scale and you're operating in dozens of countries, I'd be curious about the plan, how you achieve scale there without operationally bogging down yourself with various issues, liability and other things like that. Arbor, super cool, obviously very talented. Technology is really solid. I think the space for me is probably a little too crowded. I think you're going to be battling out with some real heavy hitters. In terms of the hyper personalization, I think the big media companies, the big agencies, they're going to have data that will probably allow them to hyper personalize in a way that will be hard for a startup to compete with. So unless you're partnering potentially, I think that'll be tough. And I think the other issue is, you know, do you really need hyper personalization, or is kind of, you know, just a generic AI curation good enough, right? So I guess it depends how many people will adopt at kind of what level, what scale to get to kind of unicorn, right? How big can you get? So for me, the winner is Ecomedes. Phenomenal pitch, polished as heck. Pulling friction out of a system, that's always a huge win for me. Highly specialized knowledge set, so you got the foundations of a moat there, which is great. Revenue generating, who's going to say no to that? And a very, very well clearly articulated USP. So for me, that was the strongest pitch today. But they were all great, and really, again, can't say enough how proud I am to participate, and wish all the companies luck.
Yeah, thanks. I'll go one more. Jose?
Thank you, Gary. Yeah, I think overall the competitors were very strong. There are obviously differences between all of them, between scalability, technology, but also verticals that they address. I already mentioned that I like the last one best. The main reason is that the presentation was very good and clear, but also that there's a lot of scalability there. It doesn't mean that the other competitors are not scalable. It just resonated better to me. Yeah, that's the point. I think they're all fantastic, and congratulations to everybody.
All right, thank you. Victoria, how are we making out with the voting?
Very good. All right, that's wonderful. Let me share my screen. I'm gonna close the voting, and we're gonna see the results in a second. All right. So believe it or not, our platform is also bugging a tiny bit. Okay. So 1 second, Gary, how was this cohort? How much work did you guys put in? I think I never realized. I wonder, what is your program like in terms of the time commitment?
Well, we have sessions twice a week. I mean, you can ask Kathleen, how was it for you?
It was good. I got feedback from Gary that no one has ever given me before in my life. So I found that really unique. There's no punches pulled, and it's just you know, like he says, getting stuff done. So I loved it.
Yeah, it's great. Ning, how was it for you?
That was very, very helpful. I agree with Kathleen. I think Gary was super helpful during the entire way, even for operational stuff. Like he can call me anytime to give me some helpful advice on how to fix certain things and improve certain things. I really appreciate Gary. Thank you so much.
Yeah, well, we're all part of the same family, right? So we're all here to work together. So I appreciate each one of you too. Yeah, Victoria, how are we making out with the
Yes,
voting now?
we're good. Okay, so let's do this. I'm going to share my screen. All right, and with that, so all of the votes for the startups are very, very close. So here we have them. So third place is Flatfee, second place is Ardor, and first place is Ecomedes. So wonderful. We have our silver winner, bronze, silver, and golden winner. So Ecomedes, Kathleen, you guys are invited to participate in our next battle in Silicon Valley. And because you live here, that's very convenient. Thank you, everyone. Amazing event, amazing work. So yes, welcome our winners.
Yeah, I want to say thank you to everybody for taking time out of your busy schedules today to join us. I really appreciate it. Many of you here, we've worked together in many different on many different occasions. So I appreciate it. You know, we're now on our 18th cohort. This is our 17th. We actually started our 18th yesterday. And so we have again some incredible companies coming in, and it's with your support, helping as mentors and advisors, that we have the ability to get to where we are today. So I want to thank you. I also want to stay happy, stay safe, and stay healthy. And I look forward to seeing each and every one of you again soon. Victoria?
All right, amazing. So yeah, thank you everyone.
Thank you.
And have a
Take care of
great
yourself.
rest of your day.
Thanks. Bye-bye, everybody. Thank you. Great job,
Bye-bye.
startups.
Have a
Thank
nice
you.
day.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Gary. Thanks, everyone.